Hello everyone. So today we are going to learn about pericarditis. Pericarditis is inflammation of the pericardium, that is a fibrous sac surrounding the heart. The causes that can lead to pericarditis. First one is infective. The infective agents that can lead to pericarditis are viral, bacterial and fungal. The viral agents are Coxsackie virus, herpes, mumps virus, HIV virus. Bacterial causes that can lead to pericarditis are Mycobacterium tuberculosis and Streptococcus pneumonia. Mycobacterium tuberculosis is one of the most common cause that can lead to pericarditis, but it is more prevalent in the developing countries and not in the developed countries. The fungal agent that can lead to pericarditis is histoplasmosis. The second cause that can lead to pericarditis are autoimmune diseases, that is SLE, systemic lupus erythematosus, and RA, rheumatoid arthritis. Third cause that can lead to pericarditis is post-myocardial infarction, which is also known as Dressler syndrome. Fourth cause is trauma to the heart. Fifth is uremia, that is uremic pericarditis. Sixth is aortic dissection. Seventh is cancer. The cancers that can lead to pericarditis are breast cancer, Hodgkin's lymphoma, and lung cancer. The side effect of some drugs can also lead to pericarditis, that is hydralazine, which is a diuretic. Radiation can also lead to pericarditis. So these are the causes that can lead to pericarditis. Next we are going to learn about the symptoms of the pericarditis, which is pleuritic chest pain. The pleuritic chest pain can be retrosternal or it can also happen in the left side of the chest. It is characteristic of the pericarditis. The pleuritic chest pain is positional, that means it can be relieved by sitting up and bending forward. And this pain is worsened by lying down or inspiration. The differential diagnosis of pericarditis is angina, because pericarditis can also be confused with angina pain, but angina pain is not pleuritic and it is not positional, which means this pain is generally constant and it doesn't happen or increased with changing the position of the body, and this pain is generally constant and feels like a pressure. Other symptoms that can also present in pericarditis are dry cough, fever, fatigue and anxiety. Physical sign that can present in pericarditis is frictional rub. Frictional rub is heard with a stethoscope during a CVS examination. Friction rub is usually heard on the lower left sternal border. Frictional rub happens because of the rubbing of the inflamed pericardium against the heart. The complication that can happen in pericarditis are pericardial effusion and cardiac tamponade. How can we diagnose pericarditis? So usually we diagnose pericarditis through ECG. In ECG the findings are there is diffuse ST segment elevation in all leads except in the AVR and V1 lead. PR segment depression can also be present in any lead except AVR, except in the AVR lead. So it can also be present but it can also be absent. So it is a possible finding. Second is blood urea nitrogen and creatinine are elevated in cases of uremic pericarditis. This can also be a finding in pericarditis, but we diagnose pericarditis through ECG. Troponins, that is troponin I and T, CKMB, myoglobin and LDH1 are elevated in cases of concurrent MI. That is, if concurrent MI leads to pericarditis, troponin I and T, CKMB, myoglobin and LDH1 will be elevated in that cases only. The treatment of pericarditis, firstly we have to treat the underlying condition that led to pericarditis, and second we have to treat pericarditis via anti-inflammatory agents, that is NSAIDs, colchicine and steroids. We can give NSAIDs alone, or we can also give it with colchicine. Colchicine decreases the risk of recurrent pericarditis. Steroid can also be given in acute pericarditis, but it increases the risk of recurrent pericarditis, so that's why it is usually avoided. So this leads to the completion of our topic, that is pericarditis. Thanks for watching the video.